Welcome to Productive Joy with Dr. Christie, where fun meets action.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Productive Joy. You get not one, but two fabulous guests today, and I can't wait to introduce you to my new friends. So let's start with Andy. Andy Weins is lots of fabulous things. He's a veteran. Thank you, Andy, for your service. He's an entrepreneur. He is a story weaver. He also embraces numbers as tools, but he's a foodie, he's a traveler, and he's a volleyball player who happened to meet his wife at playing volleyball and then eloped, didn't tell anybody, and it was kind of a pretty cool thing that even Lynn didn't know, and they were writing a book together at the same time. So Andy's pretty fun. So is Lynn. Lynn Corazzi is the founder of Data to Profit. He is also an author. He is also an entrepreneur, but he's a data magician who loves to travel. He loves history. He loves wine. And he really loves being a father and grandfather. And today, these are our guests on Productive Joy. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Great to be here.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you. And people will only listen for a little bit before they go, yeah, this is for me, or no, it's not. So what would you say in these first 30 seconds or so that would make people go, I need this in my life?
You're avoiding things in your life that matter, and we will make them fun again.
Love it. And Lynn, what would you add?
We will not only make them fun, we will make them simple. And, I come out of the corporate world, and it took me a long time to purge corporate speak. And being a business owner myself, I've learned you got to keep it simple. You got to make it real. And you got to let people open up and meet them where they are.
So true. No truer words could be spoken. I'm an educator by trade, but I teach adults all the time. I would argue we're all teachers. And if we don't make it simple, people check out on us. So I am so excited to learn your theory. But you said we make something that's complicated simple, or we make something that people complicate simple. What's that something? What's the thing that people tend to avoid?
Math. That's it. Math and numbers, right? I got a 13-year-old son, and he was talking about cross-multiplying yesterday. And I go, oh, this is awesome. Yeah, you do the thing and the stuff, and you get a percentage of a percentage. And he goes, how is this fun? I go, I do this all day. I do math. Math is fun. Right? At one point in our lives, I don't know, second grade, third grade-ish, like math was fun. It was like, oh, take these two numbers, and I'm coming in with a solution. Like, that's interesting. And I'm 41, and I'm still that child that enjoys numbers, enjoys math. And as a business owner, right, here's where it actually matters, is those numbers, that data, it tells a story. And I love stories. You said it from the beginning, story weaver. I love stories, and numbers, like words, tell stories. The challenge is people, they get intimidated by it. So we want to make math fun again, I guess is the best way to say it.
I love it. Well, and so here's the thing. And as an educator, this is where my brain goes. A lot of people will say, I'm not a math person, right? But we would never tolerate somebody saying, I can't read, right? So what do you think it is that makes numbers scarier than letters? Is there something that you've discovered in your research that has told you that?
Yeah. I really think when it comes down to it, numbers reflect only two things, your decisions and your behaviors. And so I think a lot of times we like to make things complicated, and that way we can confuse ourselves, and then we stop avoiding them. We started avoiding them, particularly when we're a business owner. When you start saying the word accounting or finance, it just conjures up this mysterious black box that they get it in their heads. Oh, this is something else. I mean, people go to college for this stuff. No, when a small business owner, it really can be rather simple. And I think that's where we overcomplicate things because it's a way of we can't hold ourselves accountable for it.
Right. And Lynn, when you go on your LinkedIn, you have a different definition of a CFO. You have a different acronym other than Chief Financial Officer, right? So what do you use those letters for?
It's confident financial outcomes, because that's ultimately what I want to provide for you. We work together. We're going to get to know what's going on with you, where you're at, and make sure that you have the information that you can build that, because information at the end of the day is confidence. You know how to use it and apply it. And so what I guarantee my folks is confident financial outcomes. You are going to understand what your numbers mean, what they tell you, and what you should do with them.
Okay, you mentioned that your system is simple. Simple does not always mean easy, right? Simple just means clear. And so tell me, so let's pretend, well, not let's pretend, I am a small business owner.
Different.
Tell me your simple system so that I can decide to make it easy, right? The easy is the mindset. I think the simple is the action.
So now you're triggering something I really love, and you're touching base on my first book, which was all about neurolinguistics programming. The words easy and hard are subjective. Simple and complicated are objective. Right? It is simple to put your shoes on and go for a run, and yet people say, "Oh, that's too hard."
Oh,
Right? It's simple. How can you tie your shoes? Yes. Can you run? Yes. And yet people will say, "Well, it's hard." So, for example, can you add? Adding is simple. Right? When you look at a profit and loss statement, it is addition and subtraction. This many dollars came in, this many dollars came out. That's it.
Yeah.
We're not even talking multiplication and division yet. Like, it is addition. So simple. The challenge is when you got 50, 100 rows of text, that feels intimidating.
Yeah.
And now you say, well, how do I do a cash flow statement? Well, yeah, that's pretty complicated. We'll take a profit and loss statement. We'll take a balance sheet. We'll pull numbers from both, and then we'll create a cash flow statement. So a profit and loss statement is simple, addition, subtraction. Balance sheet is simple, or you have assets, liabilities, and equity, right? And then a cash flow statement is you take out about a half a dozen numbers from each of those, put it together, and you say this is how much money came in or out during a given period of time. The challenge is when you look at that first statement, the profit and loss statement, you're like, I don't even know where to start. That's what we hear all the time. And I feel dumb that I don't know where to start. I don't know what questions to ask. So our simple system is we don't give any answers in the book. There's not a single answer in the book. We give you questions. These are the questions you can start asking. Ask these questions of your accountant. Ask these questions of your profit and loss statement. Our first chapter, what's your vision? That's a question. Why did you start your business in the first place? And how does your business serve you? So the first 2 chapters, we're not even talking about numbers. Don't even talk about data. The first section is all about you versus like a textbook that says, okay, we're going to start with the profit and loss statement.
Well, I don't know if you're fans of Dave Ramsey or not. It's irrelevant. What he often says, though, is that this isn't a numbers problem. It's a behavior problem, right? Like our spending. So, Lynn, what would you add to what Andy just so eloquently said was really the crux of this situation?
It's funny. We live every day by numbers. You want to be on time for somewhere? What do? You look at the numbers. And when it comes to your business, things that you intuitively know and apply every single day in your personal life, you have the exact mirror in your business life. You got a job, someone pays you, $100 a week. You have that $100 to spend. You can't spend more than that unless you go borrow money or overspend, get yourself into debt. And people know that this happens to them in their personal lives. Why is it so different to challenge it into to channel it into your business life? It's just like people just have it in their mind. My business and personal are completely separate, but they are the exact same concepts.
Yeah. You're
managing a budget. You're trying to save up for money. Okay, why don't you save up for your business? You need to spend money on this, and this, and you could overspend. And we all just waste money every single day.
Yeah.
Well, again, waste is a subjective thing, but these are the behaviors that people don't apply in their business that they instinctively know in their personal life.
Yeah.
Andy mentioned a balance sheet. Yes, we all kind of get the idea. This is how much we have. This is how much we owe. The difference is some nebulous concept of, our worth. Well, that personal financial statement is exactly what your balance sheet is. But people say, oh my God, there's anything else I'd rather do than look at that document.
Well, do you think it's personality based? Because I think about different personalities, and some personalities love a spreadsheet, right? Like, so I do a personality test with people that is really, it requires no assessment. It's just you're either a paperclip, a magnifying glass, a teddy bear, or a slinky. And so our paper clips are very linear in the way they think. They love a spreadsheet. They love a to-do list. Things make sense when they are in order, right? And I would think that when you run into paper clips, they're like, yes, this is so much fun. But your slinkies are a little more all over the place, right? Like they like ideas and the fun things, and they don't necessarily get excited about the spreadsheet. So when you encounter a slinky, somebody who is kind of all over the place, how do you get them to zoom in? What do you do with that type of personality to get them to go, I do need this?
I would argue most entrepreneurs are slinkies. The whole reason we got into this mess was to not have rules, to not have spreadsheet, to not have corporate ease, to not have responsibilities, right? And so, yeah, an entrepreneurs, we talk, one of the opening lines of the book is you didn't get into business to be a math person and do, or numbers person and do math, right? That's, I think, the third sentence of the book. And so I would argue that people that are more entrepreneurial minded are more of those slinky types. They go with the flow. They can adapt and adjust. The last thing on their mind is, let me sit down in a room in front of a computer and look at details. That sounds miserable to the average person, right? Even as you describe them, I was like, man, I don't want to be a paperclip person. I'm a slinky person, right? Before my last deployment, I was a platoon sergeant and overseeing about 40 troops. And they gave me the call sign Semper Gumby, which is always flexible. Because that's what I would always say. Hey guys, we got to be flexible here, right? So right, and that's a slinky. It's like, we're going here, we're going there, we're going all over. And as an entrepreneur, I love that. Now I have the advantage where I love the flexibility and I love the numbers, so it works for me. One thing Lynn and I figured out is he has 30 years of corporate ease and a master's degree in finance, and I have hillbilly math on the back of a napkin, and we've come to the same conclusion. So, is there a predisposition? Yeah, there's a predisposition to those people that want to enjoy their numbers. I've also seen short people play really good volleyball.
Right.
When you're tall, volleyball comes naturally. That's where I play. I'm 6'4", right? I'm out there bowling. And so with all entrepreneurs, is there a predisposition? Yeah. And what are you going to do about it?
Right.
Neurolinguistics programming. When you tell yourself over and over you're not a math person, you're not. And you'll stay stuck in that mindset, that plateau fixed mindset. Or you can choose to be a growth-minded person and say, you know what? I'm a great business owner. And great business owners know their data. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to explore the data. Also, we said from the beginning, everyone loves a good story.
Yeah.
I love a good story. Your financial documents, your scorecard, it's a story.
Yeah.
We teach you how to interpret that story, and then math becomes fun again.
I love the way you phrased that. And I think you're 100% right. And you do have a good understanding of what a slinky is. And see, I didn't even have to tell you much. And you're right. Actually, most leaders are magnifying glasses and slinkies. I didn't tell you what magnifying glasses were, but they zoom in on the details, right? Like they're the get it done kind of people. And then your teddy bears are the ones that care about the humans. And those are important too. But
we need those people.
we
In my head, I'm like, details, no. Caring about people?
Yeah, please. Magnifying glass and a really good paperclip and a slinky, which is such a cool combination. That doesn't happen very often. Lynn, you all wrote a book and you've mentioned it a couple times. Would you tell us the title, premise, and audience for this bad boy? Because it's coming out like now, right?
Yes. Yeah. The name of the book is Stop Avoiding Your Numbers, The Guide to Financial Confidence for Small Business Owners.
Perfect.
And we started with the different titles after Andy's first book, but really came to this because, what do we want people to do? Again, it's all about the behaviors. Stop avoiding your numbers. And we talked about this early on because Andy and I had known each other for quite a while. He wrote his first book and then he said, I'm going to do another one and maybe we should do it together. Yeah. It became this joke. We'd bump into each other at different networking events. The joke started again. So when we sat down to finally do it, Andy talked about our backgrounds and difference. Andy mentioned he's 6'4", I'm 5'4". So we were like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny DeVito, and twins. And even though we approach it, as we said, from completely different perspectives, we always end up at the same spot. This was actually such a fun book to write, and I know how different it's turning out to be had I written it just myself. And I like to think that, Andy would say, yeah, it'd be different if he just wrote it himself too. But bringing two different perspectives and two different sets of stories from two completely different viewpoints, all focused on trying to help make numbers fun and get people to start paying attention to them.
So much power in that. So I'm actually an author coach for a publishing company. And one of the things that we coach our authors to do is to put their book in the hands of someone who thinks very differently than them and ask them to read it. Because of exactly what you just said, I can only bring my perspective. And as much as I might try to interpret somebody else's, I really can only have mine. I need somebody else to come in and say, this doesn't make sense to me, or I need more of that. So I'm going to guess that this is going to fit all personality types, because by bringing the two of you together, you have melded lots of different ways of work. I love it. So it is just now coming out, right? So we're in March. Where do I get this thing?
Well, your best bet is Amazon.
Yeah.
That's the simplest thing, right? Amazon, get it on release day. That way it'll be most beneficial to us. One thing I want to touch base is what you said, though, is the diversity of thought.
Yeah.
So Lynn and I are both men. We both love numbers, right? So we're on this end of the spectrum, right? Where we very much, although we came from different perspectives, we came to the same conclusion. And so one of the best things we did was by using a ghostwriter. Both of the ghostwriters we work with are female entrepreneurs.
Nice.
This is important. When Lynn and I started looking at our book, who are we writing our book for? We realized over 80% of our clients are female entrepreneurs.
Interesting.
And so even now, I have a call here in 45 minutes with one of my clients. She's a female entrepreneur. And so we also found that to be interesting. So as we read the book, the heroine within our book, she's a female. Because we realize that women are more open to the conversations, right? So it's not a question of, there's this idea, girl math. It's like, no. What we've realized is the complete opposite. Women are much more open to expressing their hesitation with numbers than men are.
Yeah.
And also, I've had several clients where it's a husband and wife team, and it starts with a husband and wife, and 90 days into the work we're doing, the husband no longer attends the calls. Because the wife is more detail oriented, she's more future focused. And so we also wrote the book not only with the female mindset, we wrote it with females because they're like, hold on. Andy, Lynn, no.
This does not make sense.
Actually makes
100%. There were so many times I'd be sitting on a call and all of a sudden Lynn would say something that was very matter of fact. And Amelia, or one of our ghostwriters, would be like, Lynn, you lost me like 3 minutes ago. I know you're nerding out right now. We got to back it up. Like nobody cares, right? And again, had Lynn wrote the book himself, it would have been very technical. Had I wrote the book myself, it would have been very entrepreneurial, slinky. Oh, here's another fun story. Oh, here's a story that doesn't fit, but I want to tell the story, so I'm going to insert it anyways. And then now we get the diversity of thought. The whole time we wrote the book, we had our audience reading the book as we did it.
Yeah.
And so they kept us honest. And to that end, the whole reason I got into this book and I got into this work, fractional CFO work, was because of Amelia. 4 years ago, we started writing a book. I wrote my first book. And as I'm writing the book, she's like, yeah, you're all about words. I get that. She goes, but numbers are like your thing. And I was like, yeah, numbers are easy. I don't want to do what's easy, right? Easy. I want to do the difficult thing. I want to go after this neurolinguistics programming thing because that's more interesting because numbers tend to come naturally to me. And she challenged me. She's like, Andy, you got something here because you're able to interpret the data without sounding like an accountant or the jargon of the average person, or you're not talking about tax planning, you're talking about daily operational accounting. And so really it was her push of me that got us here in the first place. So I can't stress that enough. The diversity of thought is key in this book. This is not another textbook. This is not another book written for people that love math, that nerd out to math. Right? The people that understand these concepts probably don't need our book. They're already doing it. They already have a monthly financial call. This is the people that are avoiding their data and are willing to learn, are willing to hear a new perspective, are willing to put in the work.
Oh, I love that. Lynn, what would you add?
And you talked about the flow of the book. Yeah, it started with you and your mindset. Why did we even do this? But then we talk about how money comes in, how it just goes out. Then we start talking about, what is data? It's not this scary thing. It's everything that you do in your business. Every day you're creating tons and tons of data if you're interested in looking at it. And really, you got to get pretty deep into the book before we even mention financial statements.
Mhm.
And even when we do, they're in little tiny bites. This is what the header of this one looks like. This is what it means. Here's section 1 of it, section 2, section 3. Not to, dumb it down to people, but just make it easy and fun to do. And I tell people, I tell a lot of my clients that, yes, we have to make this fun because sooner or later, one of us is going to cry.
Well, because people quit things that aren't fun, right? Like so
Mhm.
that's my tagline for our business, because I believe that if you don't make work fun, people quit. And that's likely why so many people quit the financial side and then go bankrupt or don't ever become what they could be because they're too afraid to look because it's not fun.
No,
And
it's
they are making it fun. Yes, I mean, it's a very true statement. That's where productive joy came from, which leads me to my favorite question that I haven't even gotten to ask yet, because I can't wait to hear your answers. I think they're going to be different and yet probably pretty complementary. And that's, if you had to define productive joy, how would you define it? And there are no wrong answers and they don't need to be the same. But Lynn, I'm going to let you go first. If you had to define productive joy, how would you define it?
It's when, if you are so into something that you start doing it, and then you just realize, oh my gosh, I have just spent 1 hour doing something that I just really had fun doing.
Love it. Great.
Like there was one time I had a big spreadsheet shrunk down. You talk about different personality types.
Mhm.
My daughter looked at it and says, "Dad, I have no idea what that is, but I never ever want to do it."
I mean, I just got a little like a little moment of itchy when you said a giant spreadsheet that I had to shrink down, because that's not for me. And yet I love that it's fun for you.
Yeah.
Andy, what about you? What's productive joy?
We have a saying around here at our business: winning is fun. And we say, I do junk removal for a living. We clean houses out. We are in sometimes beautiful houses with nice furniture and great people, and sometimes we are in hoarding houses. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm talking about, right? And we say winning is fun because that's our productive joy. We know that we're out there providing a service for a member of our community that is unable or unwilling to do it themselves. And so for us, winning is, hey, we got to the table. Winning is we got the room cleared out. Winning is we know that we, remove this furniture, and so now they can bring in new furniture. I'm in the waste and removal and recycling industry. Like, most people do not aspire to be in our industry, and yet we talk about it all the time. Winning is fun. The difference is we make everything a game.
Yeah.
Right? How fast can you load up those mattresses in a truck versus the mattress truck is, we got to load up 150 mattresses. No. So all we do is play games. And so it's productive joy because we have a clear end state, like the end state, like in the military we talk about, right? And then it's every action and activity is focused on getting that thing done. Right now, we have a lot of athletes that work for our company, and I'm a sports junkie, and I love playing volleyball. My wife playing volleyball. I'm very competitive. So one of the game is I hate losing, right? I don't like winning. To me is not that interesting. I hate losing because in my mind, I'm playing the game. I'm already a winner.
Yeah.
I'm going to win. I'm going to hit my numbers. I'm going to hit my goals. We're going to hit our dollars per hour. And so that to me is productive joy because, again, productive, not busy, a very, very important word. And joy is a choice. Happiness is a choice. And when you choose to have fun doing everything you do, work becomes fun. And again, I love work. A lot of people say, well, you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. No. Life is work. Relationships are work. Running a business is work. It's work.
Yeah.
So how about being productive? I love that word, right? Being productive, putting the work in, feeling the pump. That's the good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I can totally see why people choose to work with both of you, because you're infectious in the best possible way. You get it. You are real about it, and yet you're walking people towards something that they tend to walk away from. And that is a really powerful skill, one that takes creating buy-in. It takes all that neuroscience that you were talking about, Andy, that you did in your first book. You are exercising that every day of the week, and it is clear and it's working. And you guys have been an absolute delight that I could talk to all day, but I also know people won't listen all day.
Right.
So would you be okay with me asking you some rapid fire questions?
Do it.
No.
Okay. Before I ask, one more time, tell us the name of your book, I know it's just come out this right now on Amazon, so we need to make sure that people. Is there a specific day that you want them to buy it? I know that there's a bestseller day. What day is that?
We'll have the release day. We'll drop you the link in the comments.
Okay, perfect.
That way it's boom
but
done.
Here we are in March, and we're going to get that bad boy purchased. So I want you to tell everybody that one more time, and then how might they best get in touch with the two of you? Because you were pretty easy to find on LinkedIn. However, how would you like people to get in touch with you? So Lynn, why don't we start with you? You can tell us the name of the book and where to get it, but then also how would people find you?
Yeah, the name again is Stop Avoiding Your Numbers, The Guide to Financial Confidence for Small Business Owners. And the easiest way to find me, is what my website, datatoprofit.net, is the easiest way to find me. But we also got another website out there. We'll have that in the chat too. But it's stopavoidingyournumbers.com.
Smart. And the data to profit is the number 2, correct?
It is the number 2, and it's .net.
.net.
That's correct.
All right, Andy, what about you? What's the best way to find you?
AndyWines.com. I keep it as simple as possible. I joke all the time. I spoke last week at a Boots to Business program, about 20 people in the room. I said my phone number, everything is on there, like my personal ring to me phone number. And I had argued, I said maybe 2 of you out of the 20 will call. Not a single person is calling. So my challenge to the audience is simple. You're avoiding the numbers. You're avoiding this phone call with myself or Lynn. Pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Make the call, right? Because that's that first behavior. That's that simple, we talked about it, simple behavior. Worst case is we get to know each other and you want to never talk to me again in your life, and so be it, right? Or you buy the book and you're intimidated by it and you never read it, right? That's the worst case.
Yeah.
And
best case is you read the book and you find out something you didn't know before.
I love it.
And throughout the book, we baby steps. Just do something. Start paying yourself something, even if you don't think you can. Get in the habit of paying yourself. Get in your habit of doing these things, even if they're tiny. The first thing is you have to make that first step.
Well, and it's habits, right? It's building habits. It's making the muscles work and then continuing to work that particular muscle. And that is something that people avoid because the knowing doing gap is real, right? So we know what we're supposed to do, but do we actually do it? Usually not. And so it sounds like your book is a beautiful bridge over that gap to get people to the doing. Okay, so my questions for you. Are you ready? Okay, we're going to have Andy go first on the first question, and then we'll just bounce back and forth. So Andy, what is your definition of fun?
Winning.
You did already say that, and I'm glad you stuck to it. Lynn, what about you? What's your definition of fun?
It is doing things that you truly enjoy with people you enjoy doing it with.
The people part, that's important. Okay. How do you know, and Lynn, you're starting this one, how do you know that you are showing up as your authentic self?
I only am this. There are some people who are chameleons. People know if I'm having a great day or a bad day. I am the only person I know how to be.
Very true statement. All right, Andy, what about you? How do you know you're showing up as your authentic self?
2/3 of people are turned off by me.
Oh, is you a bold flavor? Are you a bold flavor?
I am a bold flavor for people that have a very soft palate.
You know what? I appreciate it. So I did a TEDx in November, and the title was "I'm a bold flavor," and that was what we talked about, was that I might be a lot, but I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be. So I'm glad you are too.
Yeah.
All right, Andy, you first. How do you channel your best self on your worst days?
Oh, channel my best self on my worst days. I wrote a blog about this a while back. Go back to where I was found. Go back to the basics. Go back to what I do best, right? A lot of people say you gotta, butter up, or toughen out, like take on the new thing. No. I take on new things and difficult things, right? Difficult air quotes. When I'm already my best self. When I'm not my best self, I'm gonna do what I know I can be successful at. And in some days, that's showing up for me and avoiding everybody else. So I'm a huge fan of energy regulation. So do the things when my energy is right, and when energy is wrong, I do less of the things.
That takes a lot of not just self-discipline, but self-awareness. So powerful. Lynn, what about you? How do you channel your best self on your worst days?
I got to go back and remind myself why I'm doing this. As much as I love the numbers, I'm doing this for other people. But my latest service is a guide to money towards it's a lot of the concepts that mirror what's happening in the book, but getting to be the point where I'm doing more education, actually doing the work, and it's for other people. My best compliment I ever got was when the client said, "Lynn, I don't think we need you anymore. We'd love to keep working with you, but we think we got this." I said, "Great. I'm always going to be here for you." And when somebody reaches that stage, when we say, "We still like you, but we don't want you around our place anymore," that's a huge compliment. That just allows me to go help somebody else.
I would call that a win for sure. All right, last question, tough question. You guys have said all kinds of brilliant things, but people by nature are going to latch on to one. So what's the one thing that you really want people to remember from our conversation today? And Andy, you get to go first. Actually, it should have been Lynn, but I'm letting you go first anyway.
Go ahead, Lynn. Go, Lynn.
Okay, can you repeat the question one more time?
Yes. So by nature, people will only remember one major thing from our time together. What's the number one thing that you want people to remember from this conversation?
Numbers reflect your behaviors, your decisions. And if you want to change your numbers, you have to change behaviors, change decisions.
Love it. All right, Andy.
Same vein, you are what's holding you back.
I think that's true 99.98% of the time, isn't it?
Yeah. Because again, we could talk about numbers, and ultimately what I've struggled with is that confidence. I'm 41 years old, and sometime around 35, 36. Actually, so I did a TEDx back in 2019, and it was about that time when I was like, hold on, I have something to share to this world.
Yeah.
And as soon as I decided, then my life started changing. Mm-hmm. And even to that end, a better answer to your last question about how do I show up when I'm not my best self, I remind myself who I am. And I have the 6 most powerful sentences. It's I am, I can, I feel, I know, I want, I will. Those 6 most powerful sentences in 30 seconds will get me back on track to overcome the task, the obstacle, the challenge, the dragon that's in front of me. And so that's what I want people to remember, that you are in control. Yeah. Right. And you are holding yourself back. And as soon as you own it, right? Hey, there's some days I'm my own worst enemy. As soon as I accept that, I love that person, I move forward with that knowledge, that self-awareness, and then I go out to be my best self.
That was beautiful. And I caught 5 of the 6. I am, I can, I feel, I know, I want, and I will.
I will. And what's beautiful thing about it is they're in alphabetical order, right? Simple to remember. Right. And they tell a story.
Yeah, they do.
That's the story they tell. You start with I am, right? Because you're put on this earth for a reason, and remind yourself what that is. And at the end, you come up with a commitment. I will do this, right? Even if it's in my case, worst case, you know what? I will rest today. I will avoid that conversation. I will let that email sit for 24 hours.
Yeah. You two were an absolute delight, and I am so glad that you chose Productive Joy to be a place that you shared your message with the world. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for choosing to share your brilliance with the world, and thank you more importantly for not keeping your brilliance to yourself, because we can all benefit from it. So thank you for being here today.
Yes, it's been a pleasure. And it's funny you say thank you for sharing this. When we first started this project, I literally thought this was going to be my vanity project. I'm here just to make a statement. This is my calling card for the rest of the world, right? There's always going to be that number with my name behind it at the Library of Congress. But it's actually become a much more of a project, more of an effort. It's almost like another crusade for me to help share the world. So thank you for having us on. This was incredibly fun.
I'm so glad. And listeners, this was another masterclass, one worth listening to a second time. So go back and listen, take some notes, write it down, go get the book. You can have this in your hand. It is simple, but that doesn't mean that it's just going to happen. You've got to take that first step. So today and every day, I challenge all of you to do us and the world a favor. Take something from this that you learned that you'll use and figure out a way to turn fun into action.